Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. First, I want to recognize our council members. We have the 3 district council members who represent different sections of Clays Mill Road. Councilmember Jennifer Mossotti, Councilmember Amanda Mays Bledsoe, and Councilmember Jennifer Reynolds. And I also want to recognize Councilmember Fred Brown, who's here to be supportive, and recognize our PVA, David O'Neill. Thank you for being here. Today is a really exciting day that's been a long time coming. We are kicking off the start of work on the final section of a project we've been working on for quite some time, the widening of Clays Mill Road. The work on this section will begin in the next few weeks, and it is the most difficult phase of this project. Approximately 4 miles from Waco Road to Harrodsburg Road, including this area right here. Councilmember Mossotti and I were on the council in 1999 when we first started talking about widening Clays Mill Road. And from the start, the neighbors really led this process. Neighbors were not interested in a big 4-lane road running through their neighborhoods. A 3-lane Clays Mill lets traffic flow but does not encourage high speeds. We're also making safety improvements and upgrading traffic signals. Neighbors also wanted bike lanes and landscaping. So all of that is included. And we're planting over 250 trees. So I've asked Councilmember Mossotti if she will talk more about the early days of the neighborhood involvement in this process. So let's welcome Councilmember Jennifer Mossotti to the podium.
Thank you, Mayor. At the time of the Clays Mill Road widening, I represented the portion from underneath the overpass where Stone Road is all the way to beyond Man of War to Twain Ridge Drive. So that's where the widening was taking place. And Mayor, you mentioned 1999. I remember when then Mayor Scotty Basler in 1980 came to Stonewall Shopping Center to propose an interchange there. And of course, that didn't make it. But it's been going along for a long time. In 1999, when we started talking about Clays Mill Road, as the mayor indicated, public involvement was the priority. We had a 26-member committee that was called See Mr. CAC, and that was comprised of neighborhood representatives, retailers, school representatives, churches, and anyone who was invested as a stakeholder along the corridor. And our goal was, as the mayor mentioned, to keep it a residential corridor to promote safety and reduce the traffic congestion. We held numerous meetings. We knocked on every door on Clays Mill Road, basically, that was a residential property. And ultimately, we had many meetings, and we ultimately had 2 public formal hearings to discuss the project. And during the process, there was a lot of design changes to accommodate some of the issues that we had with Clays Mill Road in the mission statement. And also to listen to the property owners' concerns. Most notably were the concerns about keeping in a bike lane, a landscaping component, and having an extra turn lane at Man of War. So those things were all included. The construction started in 2011. It was a 3-phase project that ultimately cost about $11.6 million, which were local funds, state funds, and federal funds. And again, you can see the result is truly a great thing in our community to be proud of. It's a much needed transportation improvement, as we all can agree, especially for residents in the area who travel to work, travel to school, go to church, go shopping, and many other activities. And the purpose, as the mayor suggested, was to keep this as much as a neighborhood residential corridor as possible. And the work continues. But standing here today, it's hard to believe that Clays Mill Road was only 2 lanes. And now I'm going to hand over the baton to Council Members Bledsoe and Reynolds to pick up where the project continues. I'm confident they'll have great success I wish them a lot of good luck and best wishes. And ladies, it's all yours. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you so much, Jennifer. So council members Bledsoe and Reynolds represent the section of Clays Mill where work is now taking place. And I'd like to invite council member Bledsoe to tell us more about the priorities that neighbors have for this road. Council member Bledsoe.
Thank you, Mayor. Everyone who utilizes this important corridor is going to benefit from these improvements. Whether you're dropping your kids off at one of the fabulous schools on Clays Mill, riding your bike down to Southland Drive, or simply using it to get downtown as a commuter road, this is going to be a major improvement to the area. Let's be honest, Lexington's traffic issues are not going away anytime soon. But smart projects like this one can transform the area and do make it safer and more efficient for all types of transportation. Now, for the next year, it's not going to be a lot of fun. If you can avoid Waco down to Harrisburg Road on Clays Mill, please do. Use the other corridors, relieve some pressure on Clays Mill. I'm very thankful for our engineering team who's working hard to make sure we'll have two-way traffic on Clays Mill the whole time. But I especially want to thank our partners at Clays Mill Elementary, Lexington Catholic, and Mary Queen, and the neighborhood associations who work around that area. We had several public meetings talking about how to make that area safer, essentially the sidewalks, the crosswalks. There are lots of students moving around that space, lots of commuters driving downtown past them. So making that a safer project is really the most important, and I appreciate their input, and I'm going to really appreciate their patience as the next year goes on. The other side of this will be worth it. So I appreciate the mayor and her staff for working hard on this project, and I can't wait to see it a year from now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Bledsoe. And so Councilmember Reynolds represents the portion of the road near the intersection with Harrodsburg Road where Clays Mill narrows. So, Councilmember Reynolds, could you tell us a little bit more about your comments for the project?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayor. I'm thrilled to be here today, and we are currently standing in the 11th District, and I'm excited to kick off this final phase of the Clays Mill widening project. I realize that this project has been one that's been a long time coming and has not been without a lot of controversy. That being said, one of the biggest complaints that we receive as council members is about the traffic in Lexington, as well as the lack of safe sidewalks and bike lanes. This project seeks to address those issues and make the Clays Mill corridor safer for everyone. It will make traffic flow better and connectability possible. This whole project has been a labor of love by so many people along the way and along the corridor, including schools, residents, and the city. I want to thank the various city divisions who have worked on this, my predecessors, including Peggy Henson, and CM Mossotti and CM Bledsoe for their hard work to see this project become a reality. I'm honored to serve the part of the district that makes up the last leg of the project, including from the intersection behind us to Harrodsburg Road, and I look forward to working together to keep Lexington moving. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Councilmember Reynolds. And now let's hear from our city engineer, Doug Burton, who can give us a little bit more detail about the project. Doug?
So the project, the cross section will be very similar to what we've seen up to Waco. So south of Waco was the previous phases from Manowar to Waco, and in that cross section where we have 2 through lanes and a center turn lane, bike lanes, improved and widened sidewalks, that will continue all the way through the length of the project. We're also making pedestrian improvements such as a mid-block crossing at Lexington Catholic and Clays Mill Elementary. We'll also have improved pedestrian crossings and signals at all the major signalized intersections. We're also working on improving the drainage. So from both a water quality and a water quantity standpoint, when we make improvements, we have 3 water quality units that will be installed in this project, again, with the goal of really improving not only this public safety, but the water quality that we have in this area. Schedule-wise, it will be a reasonably linear project. So the first year will be from Waco to Stratford. There will be some work. It won't be exactly from top to bottom, so to speak, or bottom to top, so to speak, but it will be essentially that way because our business by nature is linear. But there will be work largely to handle traffic diversions, et cetera, in between. So the work can start in the area of the schools as early as next month, but the primary construction for that area will be later next year. There will be work in the northern section in the first year. That is largely Columbia Gas will be continue to do some relocates that they've done up to this point. And then again, in the year 2, majority of the work will be from Stratford to Clays Mill, to the end of Clays Mill where it ties into Harrodsburg. So, thank you.